Hey guys, Dan Pickar here with Eastmans Bowhunting Journals, and today we're going to look at the Sig Kilo 6K. Now Sig kind of redefined the hunting range-finding bino market several years ago with the Kilo 3000. This rangefinder can do anything out there that you can think of for a rangefinder to do that's a binocular. As a bow hunter, this allows me to carry one optic in the field instead of having a handheld rangefinder and a binocular. So I went to the Kilo 3000 several years ago. Now, the one thing that Sig also did several years ago is make a very affordable product for the average consumer, but still produce a very premium product. And what I love, especially as a bow hunter, a range feedback that's instantaneous. As soon as you hit that button, the range shows up. And that really changed the game in the mid-price, the mid-ranged laser range-finding market, I feel like, because rangefinders of the past were a 1, a 2, maybe even a 3-second delay to get that range feedback back in to the rangefinder. And 2 seconds, as you know, can mean the difference between a successful, clean harvest and missing a shot opportunity. So for 2022, we have new range-finding binos from Sig, the 10K, that's right, 10,000 yards, and the 6K. Now, these are both incredibly powerful optics for what they can do. The 10K basically has, a kestrel in it as far as its data gathering capabilities when it comes to weather. BDX 2.0, this thing is pretty incredible. The startup interface in this is definitely space age, for lack of better terms, and out to 10,000 yards on a reflective target. Just out hunting and messing around with the 10K, I was getting readouts to 6,800 yards on non-reflective, so pretty crazy, really. The 10K is very similar to the Sig Kilo 3000 as far as the ergonomics and the build. I mean, I don't see hardly one difference on the outside of the optic. Nice, stiff eye cups that aren't going to wear out on you. Stiff diopters that stay in place, which I really appreciate those. And so just the 3-foot appearance from the 3000 and the 10K are pretty similar, but the 10K, holy smokes, talk about a lot of technology packed into this thing. Today I want to focus on the Kilo 6K. This thing really has me excited. As a bow hunter, my equipment list hasn't changed too much in the last 10 years, and I would say the two pieces of equipment that really elevated my game is the hybrid broadhead. That really changed the way that I saw a broadhead when it comes to lethality. The second is this bino. With the Kilo 3000 having angle compensation, to the 6K being everything that I've used in the past, but smaller, just as good of optic quality and lightning fast, instantaneous readout, super tough build. You can tell these eye cups, they're a solid one piece. They click up nice, they stay in place. These diopters are nice and stiff, has that nice rubber coating, and the ergonomics on this thing are just incredible. The guys that I've talked to that are bow hunters that prefer a handheld and a bino instead of just going to a range-finding bino, basically their main complaint was the ergonomics and the ability to run a range-finding bino with one hand. I mean, you can see this with one hand. It's a little bit bulky. Ergonomics maybe just not quite there, depends on your hand size. But with this bino, when I'm gripping it, I have complete control and the ergonomics are perfect where my index finger is right on the range button. So I feel just 100% stable with this bino. It doesn't weigh hardly anything, 1 pound, 9 ounces. The 3K and the 10K are 2 pounds. So, almost a half a pound being shaved off your bino setup, which makes a big difference. So that's pretty awesome. This thing really changes the game. Of course, angle compensation built in. What else I love about the Kilo series are the cases that come with each one, the bino harness. They haven't changed too much. The material's a little bit more rigid in these new ones. Maybe it's because this is so used. And I'm the type that I really beat up my optics and my binoculars. I'm crawling in the dirt, belly crawling, hands and knees, rolling in the rocks. Just by my nature, that's what I do. So these things really get used and abused. But I love the bino harness, the simplicity, the lightweightness of it, the quiet fabric on the inside, so you don't have that, that scratchy nylon feel on the inside when you're actually putting your binos in and deploying them. It's very quiet, and I love the bino harness that has the enclosure that comes to your body. So when this thing is attached, it becomes closed, and especially for us belly crawlers and hands and knees stalking in with a bow, that prevents your optic from falling out of your harness when you're crawling down, or maybe inverted, crawling down a hill, bend there. So this thing, it's just built with a lot of thought on containing an optic when you're in the field for any hunting situation. Very comfortable, and it is awesome. So for price-wise, I think we're in the $900 for the 6K, somewhere in there, depending on where you're gonna get it. Hard to beat as far as what's out there and how this is gonna change the way I hunt, and just really refining my optic setup is awesome. These are 10 by 32s. As you can see, the Kilo 3000 and the 10K are the classic 10 by 42s. That's your standard size bino. So 10 power, a 30 millimeter objective there. You have a smaller field of view, if that makes sense, because your objective's smaller. So you're gonna have that feeling of looking down. I like to call it looking down like a toilet paper roll, where you feel like you're looking, tunnel vision, if you say. But out hunting, I've been bear hunting with this spring, and I don't really feel that it's that much of a hindrance on my ability to glass game or cover country or cover a hillside with the optic. So once again, it's trade-offs. Yeah, we have a lighter, smaller optic, but your field of view at distance is going to be a little bit more constricted. But I feel like that's worth the trade-off when it comes to the style of hunting that I do. 6K on reflective, I got ranges 3,800 the other day. I haven't hit anything over 4,000. That's just ranging some trees, as far as I could see in the distance. And so once you get out past those really long ranges, if you don't have the right hit, or you're not getting a nice flat surface on a rock, then you're not going to get a range back every time. So with further testing, obviously I don't have a 4,000 yard hash mark or a 4,000 yard pin on my bow, so I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about the angle compensation and the instantaneous readout, which is pretty sweet. All three of these optics have the ability to screw into a tripod adapter for that precision ranging at distance, so they all have the cap on here. When I think about glass clarity with all three of these optics, they're all a little bit different, and it kind of comes down to personal preference, perhaps. The Kilo 3000, it has more of that warm feel. So when you're looking out with your naked eye and you see the saturations and the shadows on a hillside, and then you put up the Kilo 3000, the saturation is bumped up a little bit. It has more of a warm feeling to it, which is not really that noticeable, but it has that nice HD feel to it, and I really enjoyed it. Now the 10K, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more of a cooler feel to it, a cooler look. So when you look at those shadows and that hillside, everything looks a little more flat. And there's pros and cons to that. Maybe hinders the ability to gather light in those low light scenarios, but the detail that you can see and having everything look more flat in those hard shadows really helps you be able to pick out the details of maybe looking for the leg of an elk or the flick of an ear on a mule deer when everything's a little bit more flat. So that's what I see with the benefit with the 10K. The 6K, as I like to say, it has more of that real eye look. So as I look out at a hillside and I throw up the 6Ks, I don't see a shade or a tint difference, which I like too. I like that, the warm feel, I like saturation when I'm looking through binos. It's going to be personal preference for everyone. Low light is good with this optic. That's what really makes a difference to me too, the low light gathering capabilities of the 6K. So once again, especially if you're a bow hunter, I'll use this during rifle hunts too, when I'm hunting with friends or doing a little bit of guiding or whatever it is. 100% this optic is going to be good enough. I always have a spotting scope with me too for trophy judging. So the trade-offs to have, you know, something that's lighter compared to the 10K or the Kilo 3000, it's lighter, more compact, but a smaller objective, totally worth it. So talk about a game changer. Check these out for 2022.